Blueberries are often called one of the healthiest foods you can eat, especially after the age of 60. You've probably heard that they support memory, help protect your heart, and even slow down certain aspects of aging. And in many ways, that reputation is deserved. These small berries contain powerful compounds that support circulation, protect your cells, and help your brain function more efficiently over time. But here is something very few people ever stop to consider. The way most people eat blueberries may be quietly reducing their benefits, and in some cases, even working against their body. What makes this especially important is that these are not obvious mistakes. They are habits that feel completely normal. Adding blueberries to a quick breakfast, storing them in the refrigerator the same way you always have, combining them with other healthy foods, or simply eating more because you believe more must be better. None of these things feel wrong. In fact, they feel like smart choices. But as your body changes with age, the way it processes food also changes. Digestion becomes more sensitive, blood sugar responds differently, and the ability to absorb nutrients is not the same as it once was. This means that small details, things that once didn't matter, now play a much bigger role. And when these details are overlooked, even the healthiest foods can lose much of their value. Today, we are going to walk through some of the most common habits people have when eating blueberries, and more importantly, how simple adjustments can help your body actually use them the way they were intended. Because sometimes the difference between something helping you and something quietly working against you is much smaller than most people think. One of the most common habits people develop is starting the day with what appears to be a healthy blueberry yogurt. It looks balanced, convenient, and nutritious. You open a small cup, see the purple color, and feel like you're making a good decision for your health. But what many people don't realize is that most of these products contain very little actual fruit and a surprisingly high amount of added sugar. What appears to be a simple, healthy breakfast can quickly turn into something that affects your body very differently than expected. When sugar is consumed in this form, especially early in the morning, it is absorbed quickly. This leads to a rapid increase in blood sugar, followed by a drop that can leave you feeling tired or mentally foggy later on. Over time, this pattern places additional stress on your system, particularly as your body becomes less efficient at regulating sugar levels with age. There is another layer to this as well. The beneficial compounds found in blueberries rely on a balanced internal environment to be properly absorbed. When large amounts of sugar are present, that process becomes less efficient. In simple terms, you may be getting less benefit from the blueberries than you think. The solution is not complicated. Choosing plain yogurt and adding your own blueberries allows you to control what goes into your body. This small change removes the excess sugar and allows your system to respond more naturally. Another habit that seems harmless but can have a deeper impact is when and how blueberries are washed. Many people wait until the moment they are about to eat them, believing this helps keep the fruit fresh. While this approach may seem logical, it can allow unwanted substances to remain on the surface of the berries for extended periods of time. Over time, these substances can affect how your body processes what you eat, especially as your system becomes more sensitive with age. The outer layer of blueberries is very thin, which means it does not take much for external elements to influence what is inside. When the fruit sits for several days without being properly cleaned, it increases the likelihood that these elements will affect the quality of what you are consuming. What makes this especially important is that the effects are not always immediate. They build gradually and may show up as general fatigue, digestive discomfort, or changes in how your body responds to certain foods. The solution is simple and does not require much effort. Cleaning blueberries shortly after bringing them home helps remove what does not belong there and allows you to store them in a way that preserves their quality. It is a small step, but one that can make a meaningful difference over time. Another habit that seems harmless but can have a deeper impact is when and how blueberries are washed. Many people wait until the moment they are about to eat them, believing this helps keep the fruit fresh. While this approach may seem logical, it can allow unwanted substances to remain on the surface of the berries for extended periods of time. Over time, these substances can affect how your body processes what you eat, especially as your system becomes more sensitive with age. The outer layer of blueberries is very thin, which means it does not take much for external elements to influence what is inside. When the fruit sits for several days without being properly cleaned, it increases the likelihood that these elements will affect the quality of what you are consuming. What makes this especially important is that the effects are not always immediate. They build gradually and may show up as general fatigue, digestive discomfort, or changes in how your body responds to certain foods. The solution is simple and does not require much effort. Cleaning blueberries shortly after bringing them home helps remove what does not belong there and allows you to store them in a way that preserves their quality. It is a small step, but one that can make a meaningful difference over time. Another area where small changes can make a big difference is how blueberries are combined with other foods. Many people enjoy mixing fruits together, especially in smoothies or salads, believing that combining multiple healthy ingredients automatically creates a more powerful result. But the body does not always respond that way. Certain combinations can interfere with how nutrients are absorbed or used. For example, pairing foods that require different digestive conditions can create inefficiencies in how your system processes them. This does not mean the foods themselves are harmful, but the way they are combined can reduce their effectiveness. Over time, this may affect how you feel after eating, including digestion, energy levels, and overall comfort. With age, the digestive system becomes more sensitive to these differences. What once felt normal may begin to feel heavier or less balanced. Separating certain foods or adjusting the timing between them allows your body to process each one more efficiently. This does not require strict rules or complicated planning. It simply involves paying attention to how your body responds and making small adjustments that support better digestion. When blueberries are consumed in a way that aligns with your body's needs, their benefits become more noticeable and more consistent. There is also a common belief that when something is healthy, more of it must be even better. This idea leads many people to consume large amounts of blueberries at once, often in smoothies or as a replacement for other foods. While blueberries are beneficial, they still contain natural sugars and compounds that your body needs to process. When consumed in large quantities, especially in a short period of time, this can create an imbalance. Blood sugar may rise more quickly than expected, and your body may take longer to return to a stable state. Over time, repeated spikes can affect how your system manages energy. This is particularly important after 60, when the body becomes less efficient at handling sudden changes. Large portions can also place additional strain on digestion, leading to discomfort or a feeling of heaviness. What makes this important is that the effects are not always immediate. They can build gradually, making it harder to connect them to the original cause. A more balanced approach allows your body to benefit from the nutrients without overwhelming its systems. Smaller portions spread throughout the day provide a steadier supply of support and help maintain a more consistent response. This approach aligns more closely with how the body functions over time. Another factor that is often overlooked is the quality of the blueberries themselves. Not all produce is the same, and the way food is grown and handled before it reaches you can influence how your body responds to it. Blueberries have a thin outer layer, which makes them more sensitive to external conditions. This means that what is present on the surface or within the fruit can have a greater impact compared to foods with thicker skins. Over time, repeated exposure to certain substances can affect how your body processes nutrients and maintains balance. This becomes more important with age, as the body's ability to filter and eliminate unwanted compounds becomes less efficient. Choosing higher quality produce or taking steps to prepare it properly can help reduce this burden on your system. This is not about perfection, but about making choices that support your body more consistently. Even small improvements in quality can lead to better overall results over time. Storage is another area where simple habits can influence the value of the food you eat. Many people assume that placing blueberries in the refrigerator is enough to keep them fresh, but how they are stored within that environment matters. When moisture builds up and air circulation is limited, the quality of the berries begins to decline more quickly. This affects not only their texture and taste, but also the stability of the nutrients they contain. Over time, improper storage can lead to changes that are not immediately visible, but still affect how your body responds to the food. For example, subtle changes in freshness can influence digestion or how well nutrients are absorbed. By creating conditions that allow the berries to remain dry and properly ventilated, you help preserve their natural structure and value. This is another example of how small adjustments can make a meaningful difference. When you look at all of these factors together, a clear pattern begins to emerge. The benefits of blueberries are not just about the fruit itself, but about how it is handled, combined, and consumed. Each step in the process plays a role in how your body ultimately responds. When these steps are aligned with your body's needs, the result is more consistent support for your overall well-being. You may notice more stable energy, better digestion, and a clearer sense of how your body responds to what you eat. These changes do not happen overnight, but they build over time. What makes this encouraging is that the adjustments are simple. They do not require complicated routines or strict restrictions. They are small, practical changes that can be applied in everyday life. And when these changes become part of your routine, They create a foundation that supports your health in a steady and sustainable way. The most important thing to understand is that healthy eating is not just about choosing the right foods. It is about using those foods in a way that your body can actually benefit from. As your body changes, the details begin to matter more. The timing, the combinations, the preparation, all of these factors influence how effectively your body can use what you give it. Blueberries can be a powerful part of a balanced routine, but only when they are used in a way that supports your system rather than working against it. When you begin to make these small adjustments, you may start to notice that your body responds differently, more balanced, more comfortable, and more consistent. And often, that difference comes not from doing more, but from doing things in a way that aligns with how your body works now.